Consistency and not fiddling around with things is a key part in this reefing hobby. However, there are some things that I would like to change to my reef tank, so here are 5 kind of major things that I would change to my aquarium. I titled this video Things That I Wish I Could Change to My Aquarium. Nothing's impossible, so there are a couple things that we might add or change to the reef tank in the future. The first change for my reef tank that I would love to see is committing to a bare bottom tank. I've always kept sand in all of my aquariums, and finally in the 38 gallon I'm starting to see that no sand or very little sand is actually extremely beneficial. The sand's at about maybe a 1/4 inch in the 38 gallon. It gets a little bit deeper in some parts, but then other parts of the aquarium there's completely no sand. Over time when I do water changes, I'm slowly siphoning out sand, so I think at some point we'll eventually go pretty close to bare bottom in this tank. I don't plan on adding any more sand to this aquarium. I don't see any benefit to doing it other than maybe looking better. We'll definitely be taking out sand over time. I did a big water change on it last week, and when I went in to turkey base the rocks, I turkey basted a lot of the sand, and there was a ton of detritus and just a bunch of gunk floating around. So the sand seems to be trapping a lot of stuff. I'm gonna just, like I said, try to siphon it out over time. And eventually we'll try to get to a bare bottom, but that's the first thing that I would like to try and commit on this tank, is to going completely no sand. That also means we might be taking out some of the sand in the 20 gallon soon to be LPS reef tank. There's about 2.5 inches in some areas of sand in the aquarium, and it might be too much. So I might take out about 1 inch of sand in there. Moving on to change number 2, and this is going to be something that we actually might do in the future because it is an addition of a piece of equipment. So we are planning on adding a gyre pump to the left side of the aquarium. All of my flow is coming from this right side. So we've got the return nozzles as well as the 2 SLW10s and the SCP-70 gyre pump that's already in the tank. I think we do need a little bit of surface agitation as well as more flow on this left side. So adding another SCP-70 on the top left, it might be a little too much flow, so we'll have to play around with that. Maybe add another SLW10, but I really like the style of the gyre, and the SCP-70 is really cost effective, so we might just have to add another one to that upper left. The only drawback from adding another gyre pump SCP-70 to the top left is that it would be really visible. All the flow that's on the right side is there for a reason, because it's against the black all-in-one and you can't see the pumps or the cords. But if we did add one to that upper left side, you could definitely see, of course, the pump and then even the cord running along the back side of the aquarium. So that's one reason I haven't added it, and I would definitely need to figure out a way to tuck that cord because it looks really clean right now, especially on this left side, and I wouldn't want to change that. Change number 3 is actually going to be on the lights up top. So as you guys know, I'm running the new Sight K7 Pros. The one thing that I'm having trouble with these lights, or at least the position that they're in, it's not necessarily the lights. They're placed so high that the spread of the light is, of course, really broad, and I would like to narrow it down a lot more. So getting a lens or some sort of cover for this light so that it focuses more of the light in the center rather than spilling outside of the tank. Now you guys might be thinking, Jordan, why don't you just lower the lights, because that'll close in the spectrum of the beam, correct? The reason I don't want to lower the lights is because of the workspace that I have in between the surface of the water and the light itself. So when I get in here to clean the glass, do anything inside of the tank, I've got a lot of space in between here where my arms aren't hitting the actual light fixtures. I may lower the lights just to try it out and see how it is with that narrower beam. However, with the Aquanites, I know that it's a pain in the butt to do maintenance on this tank because the lights are so low to that water surface level. It's hard to get your arm inside of the tank and work around it. Change number 4 is going to be the stand of the aquarium. So what it's sitting on right now is my old dresser, and I refinished it in a darker stain and put some darker knobs on it, but it still doesn't look that aesthetically pleasing. It of course looks like a bedroom piece of furniture, and it just looks kind of like young, if that makes any sense. Nothing really against it. It works well as a stand, and you know, it's held up for like the past 5 years of having different aquariums on it. If I move into a new spot, I would like to get a new stand for this thing, which is probably, I'll end up probably putting it on the 40 gallon breeder stand that the 20 gallon LPS tank is on. I really like the tubular open look of the Imaginarium stand that the 20 gallon is on, so I'd probably do something similar for the 38 gallon. This is also the largest tank that I've had on this stand. I've had a 30-gallon before, which was the Innovative Marine, and the tank did fine on this stand. I've had this aquarium on here for about 4 months now, and it's been doing fine. However, in the back of my head, I'm always a little scared of such a heavy aquarium sitting on a wood stand, and that kind of sits with me because I'm in an apartment that I rent out of, and I'm on the 2nd floor. So it's a little scary, but I think it should be okay for the next few months until we upgrade maybe to a new stand or move out of this apartment. Now, this is super nitpicky, but to go along with changing the stand, I would like to move it a little bit closer to this right wall behind me. It would move the aquariums closer to each other, so it would look a little bit better, and I think I would save a little bit more space in my room. But again, that's being super nitpicky, because I would have to relocate my top off reservoir, which it is tucked away sitting behind the tank, so it is out of view, which is nice. However, I'm losing about 1.5 feet of space. And the final change or addition to the aquarium that I would like to do, it's actually 2 things. So the first one is I would have loved if the Fiji Cube aquarium came with a lid. The lid they sell separately from the aquarium, and it's like $170 or something like that. It's ridiculously expensive, and I kind of just wish they maybe had a little bit more cost-effective lid that they could have added to the aquarium, or the lid that they sell separately was just cheaper. So that's the first part of it. The second part of it, I would like if there was an all-in-one cover. A lot of manufacturers don't do this, but I think on peninsula style tanks, since you are seeing it from a front side and the filtration is going to be on one side in view, it would be really nice if there was an all-in-one cover that goes over the top. This could work if your all-in-one was in the back as well, but I just think on a peninsula style tank where it's so in view, it would be nice to have a cover over it so that you can cover the cords and some of the plumbing. So if I could, those are my 5 changes that I would do to my reef tank. I'm very content and happy with where the tank is at right now, but we can always move forward and try to do better, right? If you guys like the video, then be sure to smash that like button and subscribe. If you guys are interested in any of the products that I use on the aquariums, as well as the camera equipment that I use to film these videos, then be sure to check out the Amazon storefront. Link is in my bio. But with all that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.